My name is Olwoch, and I wanted to say something very quickly when the Prime Minister and the rest of the ministers are here, but I'll still say it. To even strengthen the cooperation between Germany and Namibia, I wanted to say that SASSCAL is a brainchild of Germany and Namibia and other countries. So that's why we are here. So I'm really happy to be here this morning, and on behalf of SASSCAL, I would like to thank the organizers for giving us this chance not only to speak about capacity building, but also to show what else that we do as an institution that was born out of the collaboration between the German government and the countries in SADC. All right, so my presentation will follow this point. First of all, of course, I know even from yesterday people were asking, who is SASSCAL? Is SASSCAL a person? Is SASSCAL an organization? So I just have one slide that I want to talk about SASSCAL. Then from there, I'll just share with you the important skills in the 21st century. And this is because I feel that we need to question our education system as we prepare ourselves to take part in the 21st century. Then I also show you one slide of the research investments in Africa and in comparison with the other countries. And then trends in researchers in Southern Africa. Then I will have more words to say on SASSCAL's contribution to the research landscape and capacity development, and I will conclude. So who is SASSCAL? SASSCAL was formed in 2012, and this was a result of the COP13 that highlighted the importance of regional centers in addressing climate change. And in that 2012, 5 countries in SADC, Angola, Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, and Zambia, with funding from the German government, agreed to form SASSCAL. And of course, SASSCAL was formed as a response of the global change challenges. In West Africa, you have another organization, it's called WASCAL, which is also funded by the BNDF, and also incorporates the ECOWAS countries and all the other aligned countries that are necessary. So BNDF is a main fund of SASSCAL, core research program in climate, of course, green hydrogen, human capital development and research infrastructure, and member countries contribute to the operation of the organization. And I'm very happy to thank the government of Namibia through the Ministry of Water, Agriculture and Land Reform to have been the first country to ratify the SASSCAL Treaty. We thank them for that because that put us to an international organization. So international partnership, like everyone has said, like the one we have between BNDF and SASSCAL member states, increases our ability and capacity to tackle complex challenges such as climate change that no one country can be able to solve. So what are those skills that the 21st century young scientist or engineer wants? We all already know what we do, but these have been highlighted in a paper that I read last night and looks at basic integrated science process skills. How do you process science? How do you understand science? Digital age literacy is extremely important. Scientific literacy, technology literacy, which talks about how does technology work, and of course, information, media, and social skills. Examples of that could be data science and analytics, remote sensing and GIS, programming, mathematical modeling, and engineering. Content is no longer the issue because content exists everywhere. You can Google all the lectures that they give you, but you need to know how do you process this data? How do you transfer the data into images? The government departments can look and see the trend in change of climate and water resources. The lecturer also is no longer the content owner, but an instructor. In our age, the lecturer had a book, and that was the only book. I share with you a story. One time a professor lent me a book over the weekend because I saw so much interest. I was also in the room. On Monday morning, when we went to class, he called me up. I thought he was going to thank me, but he said, give me my book. I did not give you the book to go for fashion show. So those days, the book was owned by the lecturer, but not anymore. We can Google everything. So we have to teach our young people skills. They can map water and environment and put them into spatial analytics and really be able to help our governments. So, investment in research in Africa. Africa is a rich continent. I say it all the time. We have so much resources. We are home of 1.3 million people, likely reaching this March 2.5 by 2050. We are the youngest continent. We boast 60% of the Arab lands and large tracts of water, including minerals and everything else. But we account for only 1% of research spending and therefore producing 0.1% of all patents. That cannot take us to innovation. We are lagging behind, and funding research is extremely important, is urgent if we want to take active role in the 21st century. I don't know whether you'll be able to see this map, but it looks at the number of researchers per region and per selected countries. It's very clear that even Sub-Saharan Africa alone is not comparable to single countries in Europe, in Japan. So we must, if we want to take part, really fund research, think about new skills, think about networking and collaboration with other researchers, so that we can really partake in what this world gives us. Here we look at trends in researchers in Southern Africa. For here, I wanted to highlight more the engineering field, and of course, Namibia, because we are in Namibia and the topic was about Namibia. You can see, if you compare the different themes, natural science still takes the biggest, but engineering, on the other hand, is still dwindling behind. So for green hydrogen, where are the skills, where are the people that are going to manage this massive project that we are busy talking about? Then, of course, I mentioned engineering is an area that we need to really focus on and make sure that we prepare our countries to be able to take part and look after this project and make sure that we even develop more and more. So what is SASSCAL doing? SASSCAL is contributing a lot on the research landscape in the region. In the past, we have funded over 88 research projects in different countries in SADC, and our scientists have contributed to over 200 papers in international review articles and other things. And of course, we are now going into SASSCAL 2, which is our 13 projects that we are going to start. And of course, Namibia is also benefiting from this for over 2 million euros. Very interesting project, again, that are going to last from 2022 to 2025. And of course, we're also contributing to data. One of the most important things about research is data and information. And our government departments want data, not tomorrow, right now. And they do not only want data, but information that they can be able to use and say, I can do this because of the data from SASSCAL. And with that, again, from funding from BNB, we have over 164 automatic weather stations in the different countries. And this delivers data near real time. It is housed in our WeatherNet, an automatic and an online system, and everybody who wants can ask for data and you can deliver it. What else have we done? You cannot do research without infrastructure. We've also spent a lot of money on research infrastructure, including observatories, laboratories, soil quality analysis, herbarium, again, and all this to strengthen the research landscape to be able to partake in what the 20th agenda provides for us. Human capital development is extremely important to the organization. Over the past, we have funded over 300 master's and PhD students because we believe that research and human capital development creates knowledge economy, and of course, knowledge economy underpins social and economic development. Currently, we also have what we call the SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program, Integrated Water Resources Management, hosted by NAS. And 12 PhD students have already started. We call this a Center of Excellence. the scholarship, the pilots, and also the strategy. And with the scholarship, we sent in an application some time back, and we have received so much interest, 1,154 applicants from Namibia. We are busy processing the application together with our colleagues that we work with. Some of them are here, and we hope that this will be announced through the government, of course, before the year ends. SASSCAL, of course, is the implementer of the joint communique of intent signed between Namibia and the German government. The H2 Atlas, this was the first project of green hydrogen in the African continent. And this project is almost over. We have been looking at the potential of African countries to produce green hydrogen. We started in 2020 during COVID, and we're working in 12 countries, 16 experts in the region, 16 experts from Germany, and 60 member states are all working on this project. What this will do will be an atlas that will show hotspots of green hydrogen production in the whole of SADC. Even before the results are out, which will be out before the end of the year, Namibia already has a lot of potential, and therefore that's why they have to continue with the journey to the project. We really hope this will be one of those contributions that has never existed before. It is a reference data set for green hydrogen production in our 12 African countries. So, in conclusion, distinguished guests, honorable ministers, colleagues, let us not forget why we are here. It's climate change. Every year, greenhouse gas increase is clear. We see it every day in SADC. These are some of the pictures I was using to show SADC, the droughts of 2019. We got rain last year, but this is not going to be permanent. But what is frightening now is the droughts that are happening in Europe at the moment. Rivers have dried, crops are failing, and this is something that will really keep us on our toes. And even when we start green hydrogen, we must not forget it's climate change. Because when we forget and we make it just a business as any other business, we might make mistakes like we made with coal and oil again, polluting the environment and creating new issues. So let's not forget, climate change is here, we are living it, and it's already weakening our countries and governments to move towards better economy. So thank you very much for your attention.